Welcome to Iris After Hours.
Casual conversations with inspirational speakers off the clock.
Hi guys, welcome back to Iris After Hours. Here I am on my lonesome again. Crystalline is still in China, following H.A. Baker's footsteps with her dad Roland. So we're going to see some of that footage later on. But today I have an amazing friend of Iris with us. He is a fantastic musician, an amazing preacher and exposer of the Word of God and the heart of God. He was also a writer and a potentially filmmaker. He is a celebrator, full of the joy, full of the Spirit of God. It's one of my papas in the Spirit, Georgian Banov. Georgian, I'm going to give you a hug. How are you, Georgian?
Oh, I'm great. Never forget when we met in Pemba.
I know, in
You
Africa.
and Sarah were the leaders of the school.
Yeah.
And we just, boom. It was massive.
It was amazing.
Totally.
I felt like I found my papa.
I know there was
Spirit.
a real click, and the atmosphere was just shocking, just open heaven, and you guys were amazing. And then we hung out in the restaurants and eating and fellowshipping, and here you are, you moved here. And now you're doing this amazing art, and you're a leader for that. And
Yes.
so I'm excited. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks, Papa.
Yeah,
Oh.
really.
And how are you going? Oh my gosh.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
just traveling the world. You are doing so many things. You are a real encouragement to our generation, Georgian Banov. You and Winnie.
Wow.
Your ministry, Global Celebration, says it all.
Yeah.
Global Celebration says it all. Like, let's rejoice.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? Philippians 4:1. I mean, rejoice in the Lord. And
Always.
again, I say
And again,
rejoice.
say rejoice.
Wow.
Yeah. And the idea for the global celebration came when we started our ministry, which about 1985 is when we started.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Before that, we were part of another ministry where the Music Machine came and Bullfrogs and Butterflies.
Yeah,
and
then what are these albums? These are some of the best-selling kids worship albums, kids Christian albums.
best-selling.
What are they called?
The Music Machine.
The Music Machine.
And
Get
the
on Amazon.
Bullfrogs and Butterflies.
Bullfrogs and Butterflies. Get on that.
Yeah,
Get that
those
for
are
kids.
top 2 best-selling for children. To this day, they were in the 70s. And I still get royalties. Not a lot, but, they're still unbeatable.
Hang on a bit. Before we launch into this, you were friends with Keith Green too.
Yes, we lived in the same area with Keith Green, with David Wilkerson, Leonard Ravenhill, second
No
chapter of
way.
Acts.
Did you
YWAM
meet Leonard
came.
Ravenhill?
He was teaching us twice a week. I was raised in his feet.
Oh my God.
Leonard, the revival.
I've got to
why
tell
the revival
Herbert.
tears up.
Herbert, his Babudis, that's one of his favourite speakers.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the passion for holiness came from him and his wife. I mean, they're like sweet saints, and oh my gosh, till this day, he just rocks the world,
Whoa.
Oh yeah, it was a whole community of
In Texas?
in Texas, like East Texas, near Dallas, not far. He actually came later, and we were already. YWAM was there. Dave Wilkerson was first, and started pulling. It was amazing.
Is this before David Wilkerson went to New York to start?
Before,
Times Square Church?
after
Oh
that,
my
he
gosh.
moved to New York, started that. So it was that 75 to about 81 or 2 or 3.
And
That
how
was
long
that,
before this did you get saved?
I was just saved. Just a year prior to that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was saved 74.
Here in California?
Yeah, here in California. Yeah.
So you grew
real
up in-
little north of here, in Ojai, California, is where I got the
Oh,
first
hi, come on.
witness. Yeah.
By some
Just ex-drug addicts, just $500 a day junkies,
Got
totally
saved.
safe, miraculously clean.
transformation. Come on, God.
That moment,
Wow.
And so they released him, the courts released him from the jails into this like a halfway house, and they were living there, just basically witnessing to people every night. It was like the Jesus revival, the Jesus people, late 60s, early 70s.
Wow. And what were you doing in Ojai, California?
I was headed for Hollywood, actually.
Oh, you coming from the north?
Yeah, because that's where the studios are, and I was
And you're a musician?
musician. I was part of the rock and roll scene in Bulgaria. Me and 3 boys started
in
the
Bulgaria?
first rock band in Bulgaria. Yeah,
No way.
yeah, first rock band. We weren't any good, but there was no way to prove it. There was nothing to compare. It was crazy. They put us on national television. It was one channel, so overnight we're the #1 band.
That's why you are my spiritual father, because you were a rock star.
A rock star.
I want to be a rock star.
Oh,
That's
totally.
That's my calling, rock star for Jesus.
And eventually the communists shut us down.
Because Bulgaria was under communism. Then,
Yeah,
wasn't
and they realized that they made a mistake because like we're stirring like a cultural revolution.
Yes.
And they don't. That's a Western influence, so they shut us down publicly.
Yes, because there's freedom of speech. There's freedom of speech and everything with rock music because you sing what you feel. It's no one's going to tell you what to do as a rock music or a rock star.
And it's a rebellion basically, and they realize how the influence of rock music in the Western world, and they said we don't want this.
So what year is this we're talking, Georgian?
We're talking 65 is our debut. 65.
Oh, so you're like the Beatles.
Young kids, yeah.
You are like...
Yeah, we are like
we've
that.
got
Till this
We've
day.
got one of the Bulgarian Beatles in the studio with us this morning, ladies
Yeah, I
and
mean,
gentlemen.
it's no exaggeration. To this day, if I go in Bulgaria, when I go, I can make news, actually. You know, I can go to the President of Santa, anyone who would know me in that generation, they know who I am because of we were the beginning. You know, so the today the leaders of Bulgaria are back then are like
of
our
course,
fans.
of course. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Amazing.
Have you gone back and people recognize you?
I do big interviews, TV shows, radio shows. My friends owned like the media, basically. So
in Bulgaria,
I use it for the lore. I mean, front page, unedited testimony. I tell like it is. I met Jesus is real, and it's like they don't believe it, but they trust me. You know, so they, out of honor, they would do full interviews. And
oh my gosh, that's incredible, Georgian.
It's amazing. I just witness. But
so you were born in Bulgaria?
Yeah, born and raised in Bulgaria. And by 24,
How did you get to America from Bulgaria?
I escaped the Iron Curtain.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what year?
The end of 72.
So you were born under the Iron Curtain, or did it come when you were a kid?
No. Let me see.
It was 48?
I was born, my mother was free. You know, mom and dad were in a free country, but then communists came.
Yes.
During the war, 44.
Yeah.
Communists, as Hitler was being defeated, communists took over Poland.
They annexed
Yeah,
most of Eastern
Poland,
Europe.
Ireland, then Bulgaria, Serbia.
To look after.
Right. Yeah. So they occupied Romania, Bulgaria, everywhere where Hitler was.
Your bordering countries are Romania.
Romania was there. Poland, Serbia.
That's all. And Bulgaria is in the middle of all that.
Yeah, Bulgaria right below Romania, between Greece and Turkey and Romania. That's Bulgaria, and so we all became occupied by the Russians, by the communists. And so my mom and dad.
You have memories of that, or you?
No, I was not born, but then 44, and now I'm born at 48. So
okay. So you're born.
My mom and dad lost freedom, lost their properties. Anybody, if you were rich, if you had anything, they all get killed, because they don't like rich people. The communists, the
bourgeoisie.
Yeah, they're like the capitalists, are the bad guys. They're the problem, right? So they killed all the capitalists. I mean, even if you had glasses, they would shoot you just because you're smart. Because only a few people can read. With glasses was a big deal, so it means you're smart. You know, rich people.
Oh my God!
Kill them all, and so I grew up in a very hush. Nobody tells anything about our past because they don't want
secret police.
Well, they didn't want. Because kids talk, you know, so our parents didn't tell us nothing about what we are. Because if they said we came from, they confiscated everything. Both sides are wealthy. Like my father was like a banker, and on my mom's side, it was the owner of a large factory for refining sunflower seed oil. Very wealthy, you know, millionaires. And good thing they were good with their people. And during the courts, you know, they stood, those workers for them stood, they defended them. They were nice to us. They were like, some of them were communists, but undercover. And so my grandpa was very nice to them, fair to the workers. So they defended him and spared his life. Otherwise, they would kill him.
Isn't that funny? Because that's what the scriptures say. Look after your workers. Don't muzzle the oxen.
That's
all that.
it.
So if you do your business right, doesn't matter what regime you're under, you'll be looked after if you follow God's way.
It's exactly what
Wow.
happened when you're fair to workers. That's God's wisdom right there.
I know. I feel that for the world at the moment with just so much production of stuff we buy in the West done in really poor countries because it's cheap labour. I'm just hoping that people are, and big businesses, whoever's making these products, are being fair to their workers. Because I know some workers leave their family for months or years to work and don't see their families, or wives, for months and years on end because they are working in factories to create products for our Western world. Sorry, I'm rabbit trailing here.
No, and then child slavery is in the same category. You know, we need to stop that.
Yeah.
We need justice. But anyways, the justice is an important issue, and that's because Dad was Grandpa was just with the workers,
What
and
an
they
amazing
stood up.
man. Can you remember
and-
memories of your grandfather?
Yes, I have memories. Very, very, very little. He didn't talk much. He was very, very discouraged. I mean, he was like taking everything.
Oh, yeah, his whole life just...
took all his possessions, took everything, and made him feel like he's the worst guys, you know. So he was very quiet, broken down. He was a broken down man. Broken down. His pride is anything he was. He's just like, he never talked to me about anything that he was. So I found out later on, my grandma survived the communism. When the communism fell, my grandma was going sign out. She was in her 90s, and this was 1990 when the communists fell.
Yes, 99, yeah, when the wall came down.
Yeah, the Berlin Wall, everything came down.
And then, the Soviet Union disbanded back to Russia.
Yeah, and so I haven't been in my country since the 70s, because I escaped, you know. So I never thought, well, we're going to see him, you know, because I didn't think communism was ever going to go. It's like, who would thought the Cold War, like who would thought that this would end? They were so solid. And so... Like,
exactly. I mean,
because
I was a kid, and so I knew about the Soviet Union, you know. I remember watching the Olympic Games in 1980 in Moscow, and just thinking, it's behind the Iron Curtain. And I never thought it would come down. When I heard the Berlin Wall came down, I was in shock. I thought that wouldn't... It's like something you think would never happen.
We were always shocked. 40 years, and boom, they're gone. Like Nebuchadnezzar, boom, one day he's gone. He's an animal, and then he's... You know, I mean, God just moves. So anyways, Grandma, I didn't think I was going to see her. Or she's getting older, she's getting senile, she couldn't hear anymore. I'm talking on the phone, she can't hear me. So I go, well, I won't, you know, that's it. And then communism falls, and I go back, and Grandma, they told her that if you could prove what you own, like factories or land, or I mean, she had hundreds of acres they own. It says if you can prove it, then we restore everything back. All of a sudden, my grandma's mind comes together completely. Her memory comes, her earrings open, and she digs into these old archives. She finds all the papers of what we own. Grandpa was a multimillionaire. She owns, and she proved, and all the land's back. And my grandma lived for another season of 6 or 8 years. She didn't die out of anything. She fell or something. It wasn't. Her brain was completely restored. The dignity.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Stolen, then restored.
Restored. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She came to life. She was just amazing. That's what I had. So she would tell me stories that I never heard. And she told me about what Grandpa was and what they were and how good they were to people and how they got protected.
So your first time back was 2000, 99?
99, first back.
Straight back. As soon as it fell, you were back.
First time I'm back after 16 years of being an immigrant, you know, because if you go back, you get a sentence.
Of course, because you escape.
Illegal.
Yeah.
There's
you
a
go
lawsuit
straight to jail.
against you.
Yeah,
you immediately go to prison. There's a prison sentence. So
But listen, I've got to ask, how did you escape?
Oh, I was smuggled by the Polish black market.
The Polish... What is
Polish?
Please explain.
The Polish black market is very good. They would go across, they would buy jeans and different things like that, and they'd come back and sell them.
So you get Western products.
Western products. And some things were really high, like you buy jeans for $5, sell for $50, you know. Over, you know, to have a jeans, Levi's or something, it's like American jeans, oh my gosh. You sell everything just to get one pair.
Especially to be a rock star, you need a pair of jeans.
Yeah, you gotta get a pair. So the Polish were very good, and somehow it's a long story, but we ended up with this Polish black marketer who knew his routes, and so in order to, if we tell him that we want to escape, he'll never take us because exporting cargo like a human, it's a big problem.
You get killed.
Yeah, just for jeans is one thing.
Yeah.
Crime or whatever, but for smuggling people is political offense, like you're done. So he would never done it. So we came up with a plot that we had enough money to show him that we could do business with him. So we decided to and so he tricked him into thinking we're investors. So he smuggled us to buy. Actually, he was going to build a discotheque in Warsaw. The whole thing was just we did it in a spot.
You fabricated a whole story, a whole plan.
Yeah,
you were just wanting to escape, but you did this whole business proposal.
I mean, totally, it was like very very.
Who? You and a friend? Who
Me
was
and
it?
my guitar player from the band.
Rock band.
Yeah, the rock band. And so what happened was I had this weird, like a...
What did you think about your mum and dad? You knew you weren't going to see him again.
No, I just...
Did you say goodbye? You probably couldn't tell them.
No.
What were you thinking the night before you left?
Oh, it was... I knew they'll never see this place again. That was horrible. It's like, I was like petrified. But
Did you write something down, or did you...
No,
make a sound recording?
I didn't want to get him involved. Like,
of course, you couldn't
if
write
they
anything.
knew, and they had to betray me, had to report to the police. And if they, so I rectified. So they knew they did not know them. They were separate, divorced for all my life, but nevertheless, they didn't know. Anyway, so we went in Poland, getting stuck in Warsaw, and I noticed the guy.
So hang on, no, let me tell you. So what happened? You get to this market. I want to hear the details.
Yeah, I'm getting to this market.
If you're black market trader, you get across the. How did you get across the border?
We noticed this guy with a huge watch, and I made a remark to my friend about this guy in the street. Look at this watch. And it was like a large one with a chain. So, and then we move on, and then we sit down at a coffee shop to get something to eat. And he comes, follows us, and sits on a table, and we're freaking out because he speaks Bulgarian. He heard us in Bulgarian. So here's a Bulgarian student in Warsaw, study, but in order to make living, he smuggles. He's part of the black market. He's part of the Polish black market.
Right.
Because he found found an easy way to make money, and he's very good at that. He knew how to sneak through the Iron Curtain. And one point where I have no idea how he did that, but he was successful. He was successful, and so we're freaking out because he's sitting and says, "What are you guys doing? I heard you talk about my watch. I'm Bulgarian too. What are you doing?" And we're freaking out because like in our minds, like, uh-oh.
He's secret police.
Secret police. That's exactly what we thought. We had only 3 days to make the whole plot happen, and
Did you have any trouble getting from Bulgaria to Warsaw?
What happened was we were in a contract with a German band, so we were playing in the bars in Berlin, East Berlin.
Yes, of course.
That was the
behind
way
the
out to the thing.
Yes.
But in Berlin, to escape is suicidal because absolutely,
they were
you get shot.
Yeah.
Several sections on the wall are dangerous. They even shoot you without warning. But then there's other sections like in Hungary, they will give a warning shots, and then will shoot you if you keep running. But the only place where they don't shoot is they just try to catch you in Serbia. The Serbian border are more humane. Like the Tito at the time, he was not 100% submitted. So he said, "Don't kill people if they're running. Try to catch them, but." If they run, they run, So he's the only one that rebelled against the rule, the communist country. Yeah.
What was his name?
Tito.
Tito
is the old, early, Yugoslavian first leader. So he was kind of independent.
Right.
Communist, but independent. He kept his sovereignty in low. Anyway, so we found that. That was a very important element to know of information, that if you can get to Serbia, that's your chance to escape without being shot. If you can run, just run across. So we said, we'll go there. And somehow we didn't manage to get there, and we got stuck in Poland in a roundabout way. And that's in Poland is where we found this guy with the watch.
Yeah.
So we're basically stuck watching the street, talking for what are we going to do? We can't. They wouldn't even let us go down. The borders were shut. And it was a freak thing, So, but this guy says, "So what are you guys doing?" I says, "Well, we're, who we are. I'm a rock star, with a silver bracelet." He said, "Yes, I know you." And so I says, "Well, we have some, we're doing some gig in Berlin, and we just came over to have some fun, just got a couple of days off." And we're making all that up, we're like stepping on our toes, when I would want to talk, when he's going anywhere that I think is wrong, I step in his toe. So really, actually, so I go there, then he steps in my toe, he takes the conversation. It was like that. We're like, because we are just frightened because you don't know this guy.
Of course, you could be.
How can anybody, you think, like, he and he goes, "Oh, okay, well, having fun in Warsaw, that's no fun. It's just not very good of a city. So if you want to have fun, go to Vienna, have fun, I go, "Vienna, of course, but it's behind the Iron Curtain. How do you go there to have fun?" And he goes, "Oh, easy, I do this for a living." He says, "What do you mean do it?" He says, "I smuggle stuff, jeans, CDs, tapes, LPs, all kinds of stuff that is marketable. I just make that. I'm a student. I'm a Bulgarian student. I make a living." Wow. Well, boy, you're talking something then dangerous. Let's just, and then I says, I need to go to the bathroom. And my friend goes to the bathroom after, so we can talk in the bathroom. He says, what if he's real? Like he can make a deal for it. He can get us across. Well, what if he's not? So we said, we have to come up with an alibi that we'll go there, not just to have fun, because that means you're going to escape. Like,
Yeah.
But if we have an alibi, a business, so we can bring a business here. So that way, the motive is to go get the stuff and come and make a business
he
here.
thinks you're coming back. Your intention's to come back.
With this, like 6 minutes, going to the bathroom, 4 minutes.
Think fast.
Fast!
On your toes. Literally on your toes.
Yeah. And we come back and we go, you know what? Let's just not forget about this Vienna stuff. It's just dangerous to think of. Maybe it's good for you because you know how to do that. But we're not. We're musicians. All this smuggling stuff is just too dangerous, too scary. Let's just go have fun. We have lots of money. Let's just go have fun. Show us the best bars, clubs, girls, anything. We just want to have that together, you know.
Yeah.
So he goes out from club to drinking and girls and this and that. And then around midnight, 1 o'clock, he says, well, the only thing open right now is a discotheque. Well, good. We like discotheques. Let's go to discotheques. So it's doing discotheques. And it's like, okay, discotheques, nothing big and nothing great. So the idea hit us. Well, there was noise and stuff. He says, what if we propose to him to make a discotheque, which we could just outdo this discotheque 2-1, easy, because we know how to do sound. It was a funky sound. It wasn't even very good. Everything was like not very good. So we can do so much better and make big money. If this place is packed, ours is going to be twice packed. You know what I'm saying? So he says, listen, we have this idea. Is this the best discotheque? He says, that is the best. I says, oh my gosh, we can make money here. We can make something so much better that it could, you know, and he goes, I says, because you speak Polish, you can be the DJ and talk. We're the musicians. We can play live music and then mix it with the CDs and stuff, and it's just going to be awesome. He goes, I know you guys are amazing. And I says, the only thing we need is like 45s. You know, those are the little back in...
Yes, the little records.
Yeah. Now they use the LPs.
The 33 and a half.
You know, mix, house. But back then, it was the little 45s. We go from one to another.
Yes.
But the 45s are in Vienna. That's where you buy them.
Oh.
So we go, now, your thought about going to Vienna makes sense to us because we want to buy these things and bring them here. That's worthwhile risking. Because for us, it's too much risk to go have fun.
Oh, gosh, you were smart. Oh, my gosh.
We got it. That was deep plot. He goes, I like it, he says. Do you think you have that much money? Look at this. And I'm zipping my boots. I have like a big boot, long, full of money. Like we've sold everything we own. And
Bulgarian cash?
Yeah, no.
US dollars?
US dollars and East German cash also goes to Vienna because the tourism.
Yeah.
So those currencies, he goes, man, with that money we can make big deal. We can buy all this and we can rent a place and let's do it. That morning, 4 o'clock, after the discotheque, he goes to his
So
house.
the same night?
Same night.
4 hours later?
Yeah, we met him around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. By 3 in the morning, we got the plot going.
11 hours later.
11 hours later, and he wakes his wife up in his little apartment. She's Polish. She says, I have to get her to buy us the tickets from Warsaw to Budapest. From Budapest, then we'll wait until the night trains, and we'll get the night trains all the way to the Serbian border, and then we're going to do another trek in there. This is my route. She's the only one who can buy tickets. The Polish, she can buy tickets. Like we couldn't. So we need to have her.
Yes.
Yeah. Even for him, you know, she gets her to get his ticket.
Yep.
For some reason. So we go, okay, so we're waiting. Just wait here in my living room until she wakes up. So he's waking her up, and we're in his little room there, and we open one of the drawers, and he has a picture of he and his father and mother, and his father is like a high-end, like a general in
the Bulgarian
army.
Bulgarian army.
So it means communist, like heavy communist. Ended up, he was a secret police. He was a guardian. He was in charge of the security for embassies. That was his rank.
Oh my gosh.
And we go, oh my gosh, what we did, this is...
So you're freaking
out. He's a cop. He's a KGB. Oh no. So we're just frightened, but there's no turning back now.
No, but at least you've sort of got a valid story.
We got
at least
the
your
story.
story's not...
No, we were not trying. We told him, here's the money. We wanted to make business.
In here, you're coming back.
Poland.
Yeah.
So, but we were like shaken by that because we thought, we suspected, but now we know for sure. His father is this big rank.
Yes.
He's a communist kid. So he comes out, okay, guys, ready to go. My wife is ready. We'll go to, she'll buy the thing. And so we're like, okay, we're going. So we're going to the airport. She bought the ticket. She got us the ticket. We get the plane. We go to Budapest, like he said. And we sit all day until the late night. He says, now get the midnight trains, because the midnight trains, you can pretend you're sleeping and you're gonna come across, because the Serbs also can be suspicious. Why are you going to...
Yeah, Serbia.
Serbia is out of the way. We can only go to Bulgaria, but this is a little funny like that. He says, this is how it goes. So we follow his rules. We're laying down, we're sleeping. The guy comes, gets a ticket and looks at the passport. It's at night, and it works. He didn't bother us. Wow. So then we go to the border with Serbia and in Vienna. It's like we're shaking. He says, okay, now let's get off the train, because if we get in the train here, they're gonna arrest us, because this is not good. So we're taking a small train to another section of the Iron Curtain, and we got off at a little train station, and he says, now from here, we have to take a taxi to go another far to a country road.
Oh, okay.
And so he completely goes off of these official places, and he goes to a small checkpoint where there's only one soldier. And he did the talking. He showed the passport. He said, "Don't say a word. I'll do the whole thing." So and we're like in the back of the seat. The car we rented the taxi. We go, "Oh my gosh, we're set up. He's taking us in."
Oh my gosh! The whole time
yeah.
we were just on
we're
the
like,
edge.
We're like,
he's a police.
No, he's a police. It's like we're thinking that's it. He's gonna turn us in, and they're gonna arrest. But he kept assuring us, "Now, if we stay here, we're gonna get arrested. So you got to go to a smaller checkpoint, and then we're gonna rent a taxi." That's how I do it. Trust me. So. So we were like that, leave. And the soldiers looking at that, and I don't know whether they had money put in there. I have no idea what.
But you didn't have anything with you. You didn't have a suitcase.
No, I had a little bag. That's it.
A little bag.
That's it.
Your whole life in the backpack. Oh my God.
The whole life. And we're in the back of the seat, trembling, but we're trying to stay. She says, "Stay cool. Don't say a word."
Did you have your violin?
No. Nothing. And finally the guard goes, "Go."
Oh my God!
Crossing the Iron Curtain, we were actually.
Did he give him money?
I could not figure out what he did, because he made it way. The way
maybe he pulled his official as a.
He has
because his grandfather was a. KGB.
Father was a huge KGB.
Yeah, so maybe he
either that or he had put money into the passport, because when he handed the passport, the guy looked at, and so I was like looking down. I was like, he said, "Don't say a word. I'll do the whole talking." And eventually he goes, "Okay, move." And we went through the Iron Curtain.
And this is all because you randomly saw a big watch.
Watch.
You didn't know the guy from Arizona. He recognized your voice. So it was nothing you did.
In 2 million people city, you made one guy that speaks Bulgarian. He got a big watch.
That knows the way out.
Knows the way out.
What are the chances of that happening?
It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Totally crazy.
That is nuts.
And so we're like, oh my gosh, we're crossing the Iron Curtain. We're now...
You crossed the Iron Curtain.
By the barrier.
I don't know for people listening, but I know, because in my day as a kid, I was scared Soviets were to come into my room.
You were scared. We were on the other side. We were frightened.
I was scared that I'd have to say, they'd come and say, "Renounce your faith," and I'd have to go, "No, I believe in Jesus," and I'd let him shoot me. Yeah. I'd play through scenarios in my head that I'd have to give my life up and be shot by the Soviets, because they'd asked me to renounce my faith, but I knew in the Bible from the stories I can't renounce my faith, and I have to let them shoot me.
That's right.
The Soviets were going to do to me in Australia as a kid.
I know.
Because the Iron Curtain was so real.
Scary.
Even in Australia, in the country Australia where I lived, the Iron Curtain was this big thing.
Oh my gosh. So we cross, and then we go into the Austrian border, and they're going, "What are you doing?" Well, we're business people. We just want to go in and buy something.
So you leave that border, then there's another border. Is there a no man's land? Border,
the no man's land. We're driving. Like at this point, we could just stop the car. We run out and just run, because we're across.
Yes. Yeah.
But he says, "Stay here," and so we crossed. And these guys, did not want to let us in. They want us to know what are you doing, because you're not supposed to be doing this. Like, so that was a more trouble there. But he kept
gosh! So
insisting.
you crossed the Iron Curtain, and then it wasn't over. You had more.
No. Because they were suspicious now.
Of
Because
course.
if we say we're turning ourselves in, they go, come on in, because a political asylum is fine, but we're not asking for a political asylum.
No.
We're acting with that business story.
Yes.
So he says, so he started talking, and of course he is not a political asylum.
No, he was
we
just
would
to go
have said it, but he's
You would've got him
keeps
in
the
trouble.
story, and so we're going along with a guide.
You're locked into the life.
We liked it, yeah. And so finally, we almost felt like, no, we're not here to do business. We want to let us in, please, because we.
And they would have taken you like.
I know
open
they will,
arms.
because that's
political asylum.
That's political asylum. It's okay.
Oh my
But he
gosh.
went on and on. So
Your
we
nerves
were like
must
nerves,
have been a
yeah.
wreck after this.
But we were already excited, and so finally we pull over and go inside the little coffee shop, and let the taxi off, pay.
Oh, so they let you. Oh, so the taxi driver took you all the
Yeah,
way.
he took us all the way. Yeah, taxi took us all the way, and then we go to this, and we told him, thank you. Oh, thank you for taking us. We are not going back for no business. We wanted to escape, but we couldn't tell you, because He go, what? He says, yes, sorry, we lied to you. We made this whole story, but we will not trust you. And now we saw in your apartment that your father was a communist. He says, yeah, my father is, but big deal. Says, I hate communism. I love you guys. And if you'd have told me the truth, I would have gotten my wife, and we'd all escape together, because I love the West, but I'm afraid to go alone. With you, we can make living. I can be a manager or something. You're talented.
My
The guy was
gosh.
like really disappointed. We go, no, we couldn't trust you, man.
Yeah.
Forgive us, but there's no way for us to trust you.
Yeah.
He goes, get it. So, anyway, so we went in Vienna. We got the train to Vienna.
You had a little bit of money.
We had a little money. We gave him some money to make his business, so make his trip worthwhile. you know?
Good. So you gave him some.
Yeah, we did. We did. Took care of his expenses, hotels, and everything. So he was okay. But that was the story,
Oh my! And then, so did you turn yourself into?
Turn ourselves in to the officials, and they accepted us, and we went through a process of immigration, and eventually we would have gone to Australia, hadn't been that far.
Right.
The only embassies they approve of is American and Australian, by the way.
Oh really?
I could have been Australian, Aussie, but it was just a little farther. America's
A lot closer. Oh yeah, heaps closer.
That's the whole reason. Otherwise, because no European embassy wanted us. The Americans said, how'd you
Yeah, Australia had a very big immigration plan at that stage.
huge.
Yeah, a lot of Italians. We had a lot of Italians, a lot of Greeks.
Yeah.
Coming to Australia at that stage. Yeah.
So when I got to
my
Americans,
God.
how did you get here? He says, well, we escaped. We were smoking. He goes, really? We like you, kind. Come on in. They welcomed us. Freedom.
my
They love people who die. Want to risk their life for freedom.
Yes.
Oh, he just stood up, says, welcome to American boys. It's like, we like you. We like you. We felt
So what happened? Did you get on a ship to like New York or something, or how did it work?
No, we got on a one-way flight. One way. Wow. $150 was a ticket. That's all I had to pay one way. We made some money.
Playing music?
Yeah, in some bars like in Vienna. Yeah, we did. Crazy stories.
Oh my gosh! So you and your friend went together?
Me and my friend, yeah, and it was a really weird thing, because like we were playing this nightclub, and this was one night there was some sort of a noise, and guns and stabbing. Like somebody like ran after one of the club guys and stabbed him with a knife right in front of me. He was trying to dodge into the inside the kitchen, but I caught him and stabbed him 3 times. And I'm looking, and I'm playing drums. We're in the bar. And all of a sudden, some of the waiters start pulling their guns, they're shooting. It was a rough area. And I just went underneath the drums. I'm like, because the guns are off, the knife is guns, and I'm underneath the drums.
gosh.
We all like duck down, and I'm underneath the drums, and I go, oh my gosh, this is Vienna. And Vienna is known for waltzes and peaceful,
Exactly.
Johann Strauss and all this romantic place. And I says, if this is how rough Vienna is, what would New York be in America? They'd be killing it everywhere. I says, oh my gosh, what we're doing? Like the fear came.
should've stayed in
Cowboys.
Bulgaria.
I know, gangster cowboys. That's all we hear about America, gangster
wall.
cowboys. And
Oh yeah.
and so I was freaking out, and oh my gosh, these stories are so. And then one night, the father of my friend somehow found, because I wrote my girlfriend, I'm in Vienna, and that's how she revealed that I escaped and I'm in Vienna now. And somehow she told my mom told my friends, and he shows up. He's a truck driver, international truck driver, so he routed his Vienna to see his son to talk him into coming back.
Oh, your dad.
His dad.
Oh, his dad.
My friend's dad. And so, Don, and I open the door and I go, Mitko, he got a guest, and I'm more because anger and explosion. He's, what are you doing, And this huge scandal between the father and the son,
Oh my goodness.
So we go to the bar, start music. So he's waiting and talking to us in the breaks. You guys, you boys are wrong. You gotta come back. You don't know what you're doing, and you're gonna wreck everything, and you're losing your future. No, I mean, he's trying to talk us into coming back. And we go, no, we made up our mind. And so 4 o'clock we finished the gig, and so he says, okay, I did my part to bring you back, but you refuse. So I'm gonna go to the embassy now, and I tell him what I did. Try to talk to the Bulgarian embassy in Vienna.
Oh yes.
He says I have to clear my case that I have done everything to bring my son
because otherwise he
back.
could be in trouble.
Big trouble.
For partnering with your escape.
Exactly. So 5 o'clock in the morning he's headed to the embassy, and we're going to a little apartment. The bar had a little apartment.
Okay, where you were working.
Yeah, exactly. And so 8 a.m., the door, doom, 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 from the embassy.
Bulgarians.
Because they found out now where we are, and we're like frightened in our beds, like we don't say a peep till noon. We didn't move, nothing.
And pretend you weren't there.
Yeah. So they knocked, and eventually it got quiet. And so by noon, we check out, so they're gone. So we ran out with everything we had. We went to the gun shop, and we bought 2 pistols. Because Vienna is neutral. You can go either way. It's not quite safe for... They could put you in a car and take you out from the street.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's a very kind of...
Yep.
Oh, yeah. A diplomatic cars, nobody searched. They could put you in a car and take you away.
Wow. So the Bulgarians could have captured you and taken you back.
Oh, like this. Then now they know who we are, and then
and where you are.
And where we are, and we work at night. By 4 a.m., there's nobody in the street. They can, come and get it. So we're in a very exposed state. So we both bought a gun each, so he had a gun.
Johnny Cash. I went
siren.
out walking with a Bible and a gun.
Yeah, and I had a siren, and like a loud siren.
Oh.
He had like a spray. And so we were armed, both hands like in walking like that. Because we were scared,
Oh my gosh.
Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and we tested the gun. Boom, yeah, it works. Okay, so it worked. It's like that. And we were like frightened all the way until the day we left, because we could have taken us.
Oh my gosh. So how long did you stay? Did you try and get out as soon as possible then, or?
Yeah. The first chance we got, as soon as they approved us,
yep.
we got the ticket and
boom,
one way to America.
You and your friend, New York.
My friend.
So you landed in New York. What happened?
New York's in it. And as the number one song was "Killing Me Softly with His Song," healing my life, and it's like a great song, prophetic, So everybody was singing that song, and we are in New York City with freedom, We're just like, anyways, everything was so amazing. I loved it. We got a job in Florida somewhere, and eventually I got saved. Later on, a year later, I was in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and the Jesus people.
They got you.
I was going to.
So tell us about that experience. You're coming down. We're back to the beginning now. Back to Ojai.
Ojai.
You're coming down from the north.
So that we ended.
Why did you stop in Ojai?
We ended up because we stopped to eat something.
Okay.
And at the restaurant, my first witness was actually in Hollywood. I was remember that movie, the Exorcist.
Yes.
Okay, so it is going to Hollywood to to see this movie, and the Christians were witnessing on a movie line.
Oh.
Say, hey, this is the demonic, and you gotta get saved. Jesus can save you. It's like they were very actively sharing about Jesus. But who pays attention? I don't even know what these guys. I'm going to the movies, but they're witnessing about God, and He'll save you from hell. And so I'm just there's no hell. But then I go and see the Exorcist movies. I'm freaked out. Where are these guys? Like, what were they talking about?
What the
'Cause,
devil intended for
I know.
evil, God turns for good. Huh?
Totally. And I was like, shook by the
Watch
movie.
out, devil. God can turn anything around.
Totally. And then I saw Jesus Christ Superstar movie.
Oh,
And
yes.
that shook me up because like when he was crucified, when he got boom like that, something happened to me. And I'm going, what? Like, what do I care? There's some actor, and the blood. It's just paint, It's like, why am I feeling so weird, And
Something of the
the Lord
Spirit
was
was on
touching
you.
me. They was touching me,
Oh
through
my
movies.
gosh, yeah.
Come
on.
And,
That's what we want.
it was so strong.
That can
Let me
happen.
tell you, it was so strong. It was always a secular movie, right? It's not really Christian,
No.
100%, just about Jesus, but still affects, and I was so touched by the fact that I'm breaking up at the site, and I says, I cannot be crying here. I was going to cry, and I'm going, why am I crying? This is an actor. This is, I'm a media guy. I know this is just a story. This is like a thing. And so I stayed to see the movie second time just so I could get over the emotional. I cannot be falling apart.
Wow, so you wanted to watch it again. So
Yeah, I
you
wanted
wouldn't
to
cry in that section.
Yes, I go, it's nothing. Not going to affect me when they go, boom. And they stuck him in the cross, I broke out again.
Again.
And I ran out of the movie. And I'm going, what is with you? I'm saying, stop this
Oh my gosh.
weakness and you act like a baby. You can't do this. You got to be strong, man. You can't be letting a movie affect you. It was not the movie. It was Jesus' story was God was speaking.
Oh my God.
But the movie got used.
Yes.
And so finally, anyway, so I'm between that movie and between The Exorcist, I'm freaked out, from this demonic stuff.
Yes, of course. Exorcist is so full
And so L.A. was expensive. You couldn't even park the car without charging a lot of money. So we went up north in Ojai because it was more relaxed.
Yep.
I think we picked up Hitchcock. It says over there, there's a free parkings. There's areas up in the mountainish area, Matilda Hot Springs, and it's free. You can park and stay. So we basically went there to take some time to regroup because Hollywood, as exciting was in your mind, you go there.
So what is this?
The best studios.
65?
73.
73.
70.
Oh, year I was... Actually, when I started grade 1.
Huh?
It's when I started grade 1. I started school in 1973.
Really?
Yeah.
70. So we're in 70, and we're in Hollywood and Vine, the famous studios, where they're supposed to connect and make living there. And I'm walking in a boulevard on the street, and I'm noticing the stars. They're dirty. They're not clean. The city is filthy. The street.
Yep.
Some of the stars has puked from the winos. They've been rolling. Late at night. Then the heroin addicts are shooting in the corner. Prostitutes are walking. And I'm going, this is not worth dying for because I risked my life to get here.
Exactly. You paid a high price.
A high price.
You literally could have been
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get shot at Iron Curtain crossing illegally.
Oh, yeah. For your story, how many stories were the people for not making it, trying and...
Hundreds.
Ending in tragedy.
And so I'm in this store. It's like, my dream is to come to a nice place. I can make music and freedom. And this is pits here. I'm looking at the street, not Beverly Hills.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm looking at the gutter where the real town is. So the Lord says, okay, so this is... it's like God knew...
So he was even speaking to you through that.
He's speaking to the fact that he's going along with my dreams because you want to be a star. You want to. Okay, come. All right, is this where you want to be? It's like he allowed me to come all the way so that I can be disappointed in my own dream. Wow.
That's super important.
And right at this low point is this Christians are witnessing.
So just after that,
Jesus loves you. He really does. He died for you. And I'm going, forget it. What are you talking about? Leave me alone, that kind of thing. But then we're out of money. I'm petrified by this movie about exorcists, and the movie about Jesus Christ hits you. So I'm going, I don't know what's going on.
So he's setting you up.
He's setting me up. He's baiting me. Everything is just coming together.
Grooming you.
Yeah, and
for an
kind
encounter.
of putting you in this place. And so I'm leading out with two other guys, a guitar player, and there's another. We picked up
the same guitar player from
Another one. We kind of split it, but there's another guitar player and also another young American. So we had 3 of us. So I said, boys, we can't survive here. This city is expensive. We don't have hardly money to eat. Very few money and it's left. So let's go up to this place where they say it's free. So we park. Let's think. And we got a little plastic tent. So for a few days, I just want to think because I don't know what to do now. I'm like, my dreams are not happening. This is not turning out what. And so I don't know what the frick I'm doing.
You are in a very vulnerable
place.
Isn't that amazing?
Because I'm totally disappointed.
Vulnerable.
I cannot engage with this city the way I see it.
Yeah.
The gutter of the city. I don't see the Grammy Awards.
No.
I see the city. You got right there from you go into the studio, right there. So this is the city. The life on the street is telling me something. So I'm going, what am I going to do? I was hoping for something nice and beautiful and better, and I had it better it wasn't the communist, otherwise it was beautiful.
Exactly,
my environment
Bulgaria.
better than this.
I bet.
And so we're in the mountain, we got this tent, plastic tent, all made up from just to protect ourselves from night cold weather. And during the day, we come down for food, and that's what these guys were sharing in the marketplace in Ojai.
Oh, hi, mate.
We were up at the mountain, and he come down, and they're talking to us, and they offer food. Says, "Come and eat with us," And we have dinner tonight. Would you come? And so we start eating, and we ate, and it was very good. And my friends, we laughed. But then the next day, I'm hungry again, and I'm going, I don't know. I like to go ahead. The guys go, what are you doing with these guys? Because the American kid knew they're Christians. I didn't. I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, right.
So I was connected somehow, and it was the food, but it was more than the food.
Wow, it was like the food and the spiritual food.
And the spiritual, because it was connected. They sit and talking. They don't just give you food. They cook. They're chatting. You're there. They're fellowship. What kind do you like? Okay. Oh, you're vegetarian, no problem. I will do this. Did you like that? And so they're really engaging with me. They're custom making food for me. It's like they're loving on me. They're valuing me. And I'm going, wow. I enjoyed all that friendship. So I'm finding my 2 friends are saying, look, are we going to do rock and roll? What kind of leader are you? I says, look, I'm putting it all on pause. I'm not sure about this. And so they got frustrated with me. I says, you could just leave because I'm not going anywhere. And so they're distant. They left, they went back, wherever they went. And so I'm all alone. I wanted to process everything without having to have guys hanging around with me because they did not like those guys. They were agitated, because like George, focus, let's go to Hollywood, let's get the job done.
Yeah.
And I'm going, man, I don't, something I don't like. I got to give myself to something, and I'm not sure that is what I want to give myself to, this kind of a route.
Wow, that's amazing.
Place. If you remember, David Bowie had a CD at the time in the 70s, half man, half animal. It's like, and I'm going, this is weird, man. Like, you have to become an animal. To compete with the guy, you got to do something more. So I'm thinking, weirdness I have to do in order to survive and to win, So I'm processing all that. These guys just loving on me and I don't like these guys. I don't believe in anything they're saying, but they're so nice. There's something. And so they kept pulling me in. Finally, my friends said, okay, we're done. You're not a good leader. They got upset. We're wasting our time. We're running out of money. I said, go. You go. Take all the money you need to go home. So I could just give them enough money for gas to go home. And I'm staying and I'm processing. And after 2 months.
Oh, you stayed for 2 months?
I stayed for 2 months. It's a free place to stay, and at night they give you free food. So I'm just staying and I'm eating their food. I'm running out of money completely, but I'm saying, okay, I have only enough money to go to Hollywood. So tomorrow I'm going back to Hollywood because I really don't connect with anything they're saying. I just use them. I eat their food, and that's nice, and I appreciate the niceness. But I have to make something from my life.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I'm going to Hollywood, and I'm going to fight and be an animal, whatever I have to do
and
make it.
Yep.
But today, I'll give it one chance. Out of respect. Because they've done so many nice things for me. They've loved on me. They were kind. They were friendly. And treated me like Prince, And I'm an immigrant. They can't get nothing out of me. I says, there's no more. Why are you doing
There's
this
no
thing?
agenda really.
Why are
with
you
them.
doing this thing?
Yeah.
I'm poor immigrant. I'm a nobody. It's like, what do you get out of me? He says, no, we're not. We love you, and Jesus loves you. And they realize I'm not believing anything, so they don't preach at me. They're just kind of loving on me, play music together, and this and that. So finally, I says, okay, out of respect to them, I'll go back to the mountain there where I stay, and I don't even know what to do, but I'll do something. I'll say something. So it's stupid, but do it so you know in your mind you there's nothing else, but you got to go to Hollywood. This is it. I'm just on that crossroad. So I'm going back to the mountain.
It's D-Day.
D-Day. And it's around noon, and I'm going, darn, what am I doing? What do I say? You know there's no God, so why are you even trying? You know that the enemy tells you, you're stupid.
Yeah.
What are you doing? When you say something down there, I don't know, I'm just going along the mountain. I heard somebody go on the mountain and think, so I'm going, all right, here I'm in the mountain, don't know what to say. And then a thought comes to my mind to say, God, do you exist? And I'm going, of course he doesn't. So go ahead, say it. And that's a good thought. Say it right now, and you're going to say it be over with.
Yep.
And I said, God, do you exist? Sooner that I said, God, do you exist, this like a blanket, like a quilt. I can't even tell you, like a cover. It comes on me around, and even the acoustics change. Just like when you get under a pillow or under a blanket, it'll be different.
The deadening softening.
Yeah, everything was changed. So I cannot see it, but I could feel this like this blanket or something. What is this? And I'm beginning to talk to this thing, and before you know it gets thicker, closer to me, his presence, basically, but I couldn't say it. I would say this quilt is coming around me, this canopy, like a canopy, and tightening on me, getting closer, and I'm freaking out, I'm going crazy, but it's real, I could feel it. And then the faith that God exists, but I never knew because he was light. The communists are light, they tell you there's no God.
Exactly.
So the fact that God existed, I've been lied. Of course, the communists are lies. Hello.
Oh,
so
it clicked. It clicked
that there is a God, and these guys have been trying to tell me, and there it is. I could feel it.
Because you were born under the whole thing. You were born under it.
Completely. And it was actually...
Into it. You were born into it and under it.
Yeah, and it was a Christian
lie.
country back then.
But there's no God.
But yet, my mom and dad never say it because they're scared. Nobody want to tell you nothing other than what the communists. Everybody agree.
Steal your speech. Steal your words.
Everything.
Oh my gosh. It's awful.
Yeah. Later on, my mom, I went to her, says, I believed in God. I says, you believed in God? You didn't say a word. Why didn't you say a word?
So she
says,
believed. Oh my gosh.
Well, the Orthodox way, she was born in the freedom. Her mom and dad, her grandma was a very devout Orthodox. Later on, she told me these stories. But I says, well, you didn't say a word. She goes, well, I didn't want to confuse you because the communists say, I didn't want to get you in trouble. So everybody's scared. You see what I'm saying?
So awful.
So anyways, I'm feeling this, and the faith that there is a God just goes right through me like lightning.
Whoa!
Completely.
Wow!
And so much so that I hit the dirt. I felt like on the revival meeting, no catchers, but I just, boom! I hit the dirt and I shook. I'm completely overwhelmed.
You were shaking.
I was shaking on top of that mountain.
By yourself, just you and God.
Yeah, me and this. I couldn't call it a God in the sense of a person,
but it was
it's something. Definitely something. Absolutely. Whatever this is, I want to know, and it's like hovered over me the whole till the evening. It got dark, and it got cold.
So a long time.
Yeah, the whole afternoon till
out.
evening. I was out. Evening was it was a winter time, so it was like around 5 o'clock. Started getting dark and cold, and so I moved out of there, went down to my van, drove it down to the house, and knocked on the door. They opened the door. They go, "Yeah, come on in." They could tell. They could tell. Like I was like, I cried the whole afternoon. I'm like an emotional mess. And I didn't go to the kitchen. It was straight into the living room. They started worshiping, and I just forget the food. I wanted to, because they were worshiping by then. They start just singing praises to God, because I got finally touched. Finally it's Bulgarian. Well, I got through to him because they could see I'm hit.
After 2 months.
After 2 months, which is, by the way, they say it takes about 2 months for complete. I mean, you're part of this missionary compound here. I've read the statistic that missionaries know that it takes about 2 months for a hardcore, non-believer, if you take time with them. It's average time, actually.
Is it?
2 to 3 months is what the average, yeah.
Wow,
if you
that's
take
very
time and
interesting
love and
stat.
focus and really get to know them,
Yeah.
and they open up.
Wow.
Because you can't sustain that much love, and because your heart is wired to receive, to be saved.
Yeah.
Everybody's heart is wired to be loved. So when people take time, and so that's absolutely true statistic. It worked for me. And not right away because you don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
But through loving, you begin to slowly open up, and the moment trust hits that they're doing something because they're not trying to get something. They're just doing it with a pure motive.
Yeah,
for
and
you.
they're not in a hurry. They're not rushing
No.
you. They're not trying to get a decision and
And
get you on a
basically
page of a number.
by taking time with you, they show you valuable. Like they believe in you.
Yeah.
It's really Jesus believes in you, and they're communicating His faith for you. That's how we get saved. We saved by grace through faith. Even that is a gift, right?
Yes. Wow.
So we give each other. Like I have faith comes. If I have the faith for you, I see you with the faith of God. Like, hey, believe, and start taking time for you. Before you know it, you feel it's His faith in you. But we used by the Lord to process it, to impart it. It's a gift.
Co-laboring.
Co-laboring, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
With Christ.
With Christ, and so I'm like they're worshiping the Lord, and I'm just sitting there now, because they would worship before, but it's, to me, it's just music. It's like after dinner they play some music. And they're not very good musicians. I'm like, then even their guitars out of tune. It's like I'm going, they're pathetic, but they're excited, like this, they're the best band in the world. I'm going, I just always criticize in my mind, I don't say nothing, but I'm like, they're trying to impress me with their music, and they're absolutely losing it. The food is always good, though. The food won. But now they're playing this music, and I don't care about their guitars or anything. I just know that they're connected to this canopy, this blanket. I could tell that they're.
You could tell, yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel it there too.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah, and I go, okay, whatever you're doing,
Oh
you
my
just
gosh.
you're there, and so the whole thing is
Welcome
like
to the family.
complete. Don't understand, but you're in it, right?
Yeah.
And just as they're worshiping the Lord, singing, it's not a very bright room. They kind of dimmed the light a little bit. They're worshiping the Lord. All of a sudden, I saw two hands, like right up to here.
Yeah.
Not the full body. I didn't see the person, but I saw the hands, and that was the hands of Jesus. And I've only seen his hands and never saw his face, but it was the hands. And he was like that toward me, the hands toward me, and I just fell straight into the hand.
Whoa!
Forward.
Whoa!
First I fell backwards.
It's a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. That's scripture.
What?
It's a dreadful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
Oh, but he wanted me, and
Dreadfully
I fell
wonderful.
Right in.
Wow!
Fell right in it, and he was welcoming me.
How beautiful!
And I felt he put his arms around me, and a squeeze kind of. Oh my gosh! I just fell, and he put his arm. I mean, I fell on the floor. It was thankful there's a good carpet like that. I just fell down, but I could feel his hands around me, and I was saved, man. I was in his hands. I still didn't know who he is, but I knew there's some sort of person involved. Wow. And then they say, okay, now ask the Holy Spirit. Ask the Holy Spirit to fill you, because he can baptize you. I go, what is that? Don't worry about it. Just ask. And then I start asking, and nothing happens, and I'm frustrated because I'm new at this. I'm unsure, and so just not working. And no, it's okay. It's working. Just don't worry about it. Just keep asking. He'll fill you with the Holy Spirit. You got to get it. And at that point, I'm getting frustrated and think, what's wrong with me? Of course, everything is, you're guilty about everything. You're not right. Everything you've done is wrong. You're into that space of,
Because you've thinking about your past.
yeah, everything.
Life up until now.
And I'm now in the hands of someone I don't even know what God is like, but I'm open.
Yeah.
And they say there's more. You got to get the Holy Spirit. Then you'll know a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I've been asking and nothing is happening. And then suddenly, and then one day they were talking about the Holy Ghost. I go, look, stop talking about the Holy Ghost unless I have it, because I don't want to, be cheated from something that you have, but I don't. Why? Is there anything wrong with me? Tell me if there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You've been communist all your life. Chill. He'll teach you. I said, don't tell me to chill. I've chilled for too long. I want it all now. I had an attitude. I want it all now. And I said, okay, we'll pray for you. They went in a room like this, a little room, and I'm coming against the wall, sitting there. They're behind me. They're gonna start praying for me. And suddenly I hear a surround sound of sounds of voices, like cheering, like fans, like a soccer fan, like a stadium was full of cheering fans.
No
and it's
way.
around. I'm in the middle of it. Like millions of shouting fans, and then suddenly the wall disappears.
Oh my gosh.
No wall now I'm in the throne room. My face is in the throne room.
What?
And I'm stepping inside the throne room. And these angels are swirling around God's throne. You cannot see him, he's covered.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like lightnings and fire comes out through their bodies, and they're just like in ecstasy. There's like being touched and kissed by God, and just like his light goes through them, and just like, And then one of those lightning bolts comes right at me through between their bodies, and it hits me. I'm like this. I'm going, whoa, boom, and it hits me.
Oh.
And it's so hot. It's burning, and another bolt comes out.
Oh.
As big as like a grapefruit, and it hits me.
Whoa.
And I'm going, what? And it's like good, but too good, right? Hot, too hot. Feel like love, but too much. Like too much. So I'm pulling out. I cannot sustain that. This is like, I'm pulling out. I was like, I can't take another ball, And I'm turning around, and the guys that are going to pray for me are starting to pray. They're not yet praying. It's like getting ready. And I'm going, Bob, I love you. The guy led me to the Lord. His name is Bob, the big drink. So I love you with the love of God. And she said, I know you love me. Not like before. Can you feel this? And he's staring at me, and I'm going, I got to get out of here because this is so hot. The room is now like oven.
Oh my
So
god.
that little room is like a heater oven, and I'm running out, and it's cold outside. It's like a February, but it's not cooling me because fire now is behind me, is everywhere. Like I'm like on fire.
Oh my gosh.
And I cannot figure out what it is because they didn't say nothing about fire. They said this Holy Ghost, and it will speak in tongues, but they didn't say the fire. He was baptized with the Holy Spirit. He forgot the fire. So I got the fire, but no tongues. I'm screaming. I can't even speak. I'm just going, ah! And I see a puddle of water, like this big in the asphalt, and I dive to cool off. Last resort. It's funny, but this is how it happens.
I know. No, this is amazing. This is
like
incredible.
your instinct goes, go cool in the water, cold
Yeah.
water, and I go in the water, and it's like steam. It's not hot. It's not cold at all. It's hotter. Make things worse, and I'm going to fry. I'm going to be executed right now. I'm dying. Because it's just like I'll just boom, I'll just explode in pieces. Like one more degree of the fire, it's like and I say, stop killing me, stop, please stop. Instantly stops. The whole manifestation ends right there. Now I'm wet and cold, and I'm going, oh my god, why did I say stop? It was so much fun, but it was it's just like
Georgian.
And that was my first big experience with God. I mean, I got branded by the fire. Like I got the fire.
Gosh.
Yeah, I spoke in tongues a few days later too. But
Unbelievable.
that was yeah.
Oh, do I exist? Yes, son. I do.
Yes, and fiery, consuming fire. I know that. And joy. Talk start with the joy celebration, right? I saw the celebration.
Right.
At the beginning, maybe 3 weeks old. Saw the celebration, and so that brought me to the naming of a mission, to celebrate, because it's celebration. Heaven is celebration.
Wow.
So I'm supposed to have heaven on earth. So that was this history behind why we call global celebration.
Oh my
Our job
gosh.
was to just tell everybody he loves you,
Wow.
and we're celebrating you because he came to save you.
Georgian,
So
that's
that's
so beautiful. What a testimony. What a story. That was epic. Epic.
let's make a movie.
Yes.
And tell
Oh my
people,
gosh.
witness. Stop the movie right there. We don't have to go to my Christian life. I really been thinking seriously about that.
Yeah.
There's some couple young girlfriends of my daughter. They said, let's make a movie for that. And just finish that to witness. Because it's supernatural.
Imagine finishing on that scene of the fire.
Boom. That's it. There's more. If anybody
Yeah.
interested, there's more. Go on the
We
website.
do the
But
sequel. We do the sequel in a few years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Georgian, that is so dramatic. From the lie, being born into that lie that there's no God, and that journey to escape and to find it, and truth was in you and you wanted that. Hollywood disappointed you ultimately.
Totally.
And sent you to the mountains of Ohio, and God had saved a community there just for you. And they spent 2 months loving on you. Wasn't this quick thing.
No.
It was a time, and it was a marinating and an investment.
Pursuit, yeah.
And then, oh, wow, it's unbelievable. Wow.
I know it. I know what grace by grace through faith was saved. Grace is aggressive. Faith is aggressive. Faith comes through those who know. Yeah.
Wow. Georgian, can you come back another time? We've got to do a second part to this.
Let's do part two.
We've got to finish now, but this was unbelievable. Let me give you a hug.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Whoa. Guys, I hope you are I am encouraged. You must be encouraged from that story. That was incredible. Thank you for watching Iris After Hours. If you want to make a comment, you'll see there's a spot on here to make a comment. But Georgian, thank you for coming in. And we are getting Georgian back.
Pleasure.
Do not worry about that. We've got more. There's more to come. The sequel. Come on.
Sequel.
We've seen the first movie. We're going to get the second movie coming up very soon. Love you guys. Have a great week. And we'll see you soon. God bless. This podcast is presented by Iris Global. For more information or to support the work of Iris Global, please visit us online at irisglobal.org.